All right, let me tell you about one of the wildest scams America has ever fallen for. A scam so stupid that the only reason it worked is because nobody bothered to ask even the most basic question. Hey, does this thing actually work? Elizabeth Holmes, the woman with the unblinking stare and the black turtleneck, convinced half of Silicon Valley that she had invented a magic blood machine. A machine that could run hundreds of tests from a single drop of blood. Spoiler, it couldn't. It never could. But that didn't stop billions of dollars from flying her way. So buckle up, because this story gets insane fast. Elizabeth Holmes was basically marketed as a genius before she achieved anything. She dropped out of Stanford at 19, and immediately everyone acted like she found the cure for aging. She had the dramatic voice, the I don't blink intensity, and the whole Steve Jobs cosplay situation going on. People weren't just investing in her idea, they were investing in the myth of this once-in-a-generation visionary. Except the myth had zero scientific foundation. But hey, in Silicon Valley, confidence beats competence every damn time. Holmes wasn't built in technology, she was building a personality cult. And it worked. Here's the funniest part. The centerpiece of this entire billion-dollar empire, the Edison machine, could barely run basic tasks without breaking down. Inside the company, engineers are basically screaming, "This thing doesn't work." And Holmes responded with the corporate equivalent of plugging your ears and humming loudly. The machine overheated, leaked samples, spit out random numbers, and failed the same tests repeatedly. But to investors, Holmes said it was revolutionizing healthcare. This is the equivalent of selling people a sports car that doesn't turn on, and everyone clapping because you promise it will be fast someday. So, how did she get away with this? She targeted the people least qualified to understand medical technology. Billionaires. These dudes weren't asking, is the science valid? They were asking, how soon can I tell my friends I invested in the future? She collected a board of retired political figures, business moguls, and investors who didn't know a blood test from a toaster. But they knew hype, and Holmes delivered hype like it was oxygen. They invested because she sounded confident. The idea sounded cool, and nobody wanted to miss the next big thing. This wasn't due diligence. This was tech FOMO on steroids. Everything went from haha scam to holy shit, this is dangerous when Theranos partnered with Walgreens. Suddenly, real people were getting real medical results from a machine that absolutely did not work. People were being told they had diseases they didn't have. They were perfectly healthy when they weren't. Their pregnancies were failing. Their hormones were out of control. Imagine going in for a routine check and being told you might have a life-threatening condition because some startup founder needed better investor numbers. Holmes knew the results were unreliable. She pushed the product anyway, because once you build a lie this big, you have to keep feeding it. Theranos wasn't just a scam, it was a pressure cooker. Inside the company, employees were monitored. People were fired for asking questions. Teams weren't allowed to communicate. Everyone was terrified of Holmes and Sunny Balwani. It was like working inside a tech startup and a dictatorship at the same time. Engineers knew the machine was a disaster. Holmes told them to stay quiet and believe. She basically tried to manifest working technology through pure delusion. You can't positive mindset your way through biochemistry, but she sure tried. Then came the moment every scammer fears. Someone with actual intelligence started asking questions. Wall Street Journal reporter John Karam started investigating, and things unraveled fast. Whistleblowers came forward. Documents leaked. Employees finally cracked under pressure. The truth came out. Theranos faked demos, manipulated data, lied to investors, ran tests on third-party machines, and endangered thousands of patients. This wasn't a big idea that failed. It was a giant, calculated deception. Was the story dropped? Theranos imploded almost overnight. Holmes did everything to save herself.
She blamed her COO. She claimed she really believed the machines would work someday. She even showed up to court with a baby, hoping it would soften the sentence. The judge did not give a damn. She was convicted and sentenced to over 11 years in federal prison. The company vanished. The hype vanished. And the youngest billionaire visionary became the punchline of one of the biggest frauds in U.S. history. Holmes didn't just lie. She endangered people while lying. That's what separates Theranos from every other tech scam. This one could ruin your health, not just your wallet.
So yeah, that's how Theranos went from "we're changing the world" to "we can't even run a basic blood test without exploding." If you actually enjoyed this breakdown, awesome. If you didn't, that's fine too. Your taste just perfectly matches the people who thought this machine was ready for real patients. Either way, hit subscribe. It's literally the only button in this entire story that doesn't give false results. More wild scam stories coming your way, so stick around or go trust another fake miracle. Your call.